Hello, this is Joe Hoyle at the University of Richmond, and I'm back for our second video on how the class this fall is going to operate. I think you will do great as long as you understand that there is a logic behind what I am doing. So I've already sent you one video on our guided reading using the PowerPoint flashcards. My idea here is that everything starts with your reading the chapter. You need to be able to understand that. So you can see here from my PowerPoint screen that we have done step one. We have read the first 1/3 or half of a chapter, and then you've used the PowerPoint flashcards as a guide in reading that chapter material. And it's just basically so you have learned the foundation materials, that when you leave that reading, that you have covered that material. So then, of course, the question is, well, then what? Just reading the chapter is not enough. Then what do you do? Well, I know you have an extra credit assignment to read Make It Stick. And in Make It Stick, the authors stress constantly how important retrieval is in an educational process. And a lot of what I do in my accounting classes, whether they're distance learning or live, is working on that idea of retrieving the information and doing something different with it, retrieving the information and working with it in a different way. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to retrieve the information and we're going to work with it in that case. So here's what step 2 is. This is what I call my basic questions and answers. And what I do is I simply write out a list of questions that I think you should have understood from reading the material. They're just question after question. And then I give you those exact same questions a second time, but this time with the answer. So in that way, you have the ability to go, well, did I understand enough of this material? Did I learn enough of this material? I can see if I have read it and see if I have understood it. Now, I think there's two things important here. I have taught for an awful long time. I think one of the key elements in making things work is to make them as sequential as possible. People tend to think sequentially. So when I write these questions and answers, I really make sure that they are done sequentially. Here's the first one, here's the second one, here's the third one. Secondly, we use what I call a wash, rinse, and repeat strategy. What I would like for you to do is to go through the questions, go through the answers, go through the questions, go through the answers, and you'll be amazed. It won't take you but a couple of times of that. Read the question, read the answer, read the question, read the answer, till you'll know this material. It will take some amount of repetition. You have to retrieve it more than once to make it work. One of the things I really think is important is my students from the spring semester said this was the most important thing we did after spring break, the questions and answers. They believe that that helped them more than anything else to learn the material. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over here to Blackboard. You'll recognize the Blackboard. We were in it before in this case. Now what we did before was we came down through here and we looked at a chapter. Let's just look at chapter 8 this time, do something different. And here is chapter 8. And notice that right away you see the PowerPoint flashcards that we looked at in our first video to help you through the reading. And right below that, question and answer Q&A part 1. I've already downloaded this, so it will come up real quickly. And you'll see what you're going to see when you do this semester. Notice that what I do here is I start off with just a little bit of information just to explain to you what we're doing. And then we go directly into the sequential questions. For example, a company buys one piece of inventory. It has a normal cost of $18 and more information there. But at the end of that there's a question mark. I would like to know what the answer is. Question 2, a company buys inventory, and so on, and there's a question mark. And you go down through here. These are the essential questions. If you can answer these questions, heck, there's no reason you can't make an A. And you go down, I sat down one day and I timed out what do students really need to know. So you've read this chapter, you've used the PowerPoint flashcards to read the chapter, and now you've gone to the questions and answers. And in this particular question and answer series, you can see there's only 20 of these. You could probably just read through these in a few minutes. And then immediately, I'm not hiding the answers. Immediately at the end, here are the answers. And you'll notice it's exactly the same questions. A company buys one piece of inventory, has a normal cost of $18, except this time it doesn't end with a question mark. This time it ends with an answer. Question 2, a company buys inventory and pays several amounts. And again, it doesn't end with a question mark. It ends with an answer. So you've got questions. You've immediately got the answers, and at the end, it will probably tell you, okay, did you get them all? If you got them all, fine. You're ready to do the next assignment. If you didn't, then wash, rinse, and repeat. Go do them again. Sit down in the, wherever you're at, in the dorm or wherever you're, probably at home, wherever you're at, sit down, read them, go through them, and after you've gone through them 2 or 3 times, I believe that you'll know this well enough to make an A. So our first step was read the portion of the chapter, use the PowerPoint flashcards as your reading guide. The second step is to go to the questions and answers. You'll read the questions. They're based upon that same material. It's all about retrieving it again. If you'll do this, you can learn an awful lot of accounting and make an awfully good grade. My name is Joe Hoyle. I'm at the University of Richmond. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to work with you.